Forgot to turn on my light there. Greetings and salutations, fellow questioners. I'm here with Nathan Hoffman, a friend of ours, and he brought something to my attention, and I wanted to just stop. I literally stopped what I was doing so we could go record this for y'all. Nathan shared a video with me, and he went through and did a bunch of clips. We're going to show those here in a second of the comments under it. But we're talking about the Sound of Freedom. And it appears that Sound of Freedom is being sabotaged by AMC theaters. Their screenings are being sabotaged at AMC theaters. So Nathan has joined me here. I'm going to play a few minutes of this woman's video real quick so that we can get a feel for what's going on. And then we'll go through the comments, and Nathan and I will talk about it real quick. So this woman and her friends have just come out of seeing the movie, and this is the setup for the story.
We pre-ordered our tickets, paid for them. They were claimed, got the link sent, and this is an AMC theater in Pineville, North Carolina. Some point today, the tickets got refunded to my friend, and we couldn't figure out why. So we come anyways to the theater after dinner, and they're like, oh, well, we refunded all the tickets because there's no air conditioning in our theaters. Okay, whatever. We don't care. Are you still showing it? Yeah, you can still watch it. So we get to thinking, why did they not send out a notice in the email saying, hey, we refunded your tickets because there's no air conditioning?
Which is an interesting question.
And we just are curious. Why didn't they let us know?
Interesting.
There was no one in that theater. There was us 4 and 4 other people, 8 people in the theater on a Friday night.
Now she goes on to ask people to say, hey, are you seeing the same things? So I'm going to go through a lot of the screenshots. Sorry,
play a little bit more of that. Just a few more seconds.
There was air conditioning in the lobby. There was air conditioning in the hallways. There was air conditioning in the bathrooms, not the theaters. They don't have right the bartender or anything in the theater.
There's air conditioning in the lobby. There's air conditioning in the hallway. There's air conditioning in the bathrooms, just not the theater that was playing Sound of Freedom.
Right. It would be one thing if everywhere else. And it would be one thing if they said, look, we lost the air, all of the air conditioning in all of the theaters, because they would have separate units for certain things. But why is it only the Sound of Freedom that has lost AC? So this is where,
now
again, Nathan,
that's just one theater, though, right? I
mean,
one. Certainly this isn't happening all across the U.S., right?
Right. Certainly not. Except that it's happening in Virginia, Louisville, Kentucky, and in IMAX in Prussia, PA. Altoona, PA. Comment about Antarctica. A local theater didn't have heat. Minnesota at an AMC. Michigan had a problem. Again, Minnesota.
Yeah, I saw it on the 4th of July. Minnesota theater was hot, like the AC was off. Strange. Yeah.
Yep. Clarksville, Tennessee.
Clarksville, Tennessee. Yeah, same thing happened here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Some rooms had AC, others didn't, and it was hot AF in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Huntsville, Alabama. Bennington, Vermont. No refund, but the AMC was without air as well in Michigan again.
Michigan, no air conditioning in Michigan.
Mooresville, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
They watched it in Regal in Georgia, but it was still really hot. Interesting. Arizona, again, or Arizona not known for being cool.
Uncomfortably hot in the theater in Arizona during a Sound of Freedom.
South Alabama. New York, California, Las Vegas, Nevada, Dacula, Georgia, Virginia, also AMC in Texas. It says there was another comment here. It says, funny you mentioned the air wasn't working. It wasn't working at the Classic Cinema 7 in Sandwich, Illinois. So it's
And
not just AMC this is happening.
that may sound fake. I looked it up. Sandwich, Illinois. It's real. It's right
Yeah,
outside
no,
of
that's a real
Chicago.
place.
Yeah, it's a real
Don't
place.
ask how I know that.
Mhm.
Yep, that's all the comments from that one. So I've got a question. Again, ACs give out, and movie theaters, because of the size of them, they do have independent ACs, or they have to have multiple ACs for multiple areas. So it's not unheard of for an air conditioner to fail in one theater. But I think Nathan brought this to my attention because what are the odds that the AC is only going to fail for screenings of The Sound of Freedom across the country in as many states and many cities as you can imagine? That seems really odd given that it just released and was on the Tuesday it released, beat Indiana Jones 5. So,
well, per theater it did. I mean,
per theater.
obviously Indiana
Right.
Jones is in more theaters and made more money, but per theater it was
But
making
per
more money per
theater.
theater.
On it,
Yeah.
on again, it's on the Tuesday. Like let's be very careful here. It's on a
Yeah.
Tuesday that it was released. On the day that it
The
was released,
slowest day of the week.
yeah, and yet
Well, I
it
mean, it's a
still beat.
holiday, but
Right, it was
yeah.
a holiday, but it beat. Again, per theater, it beat Indiana Jones. So
Yeah.
this begs the question: is it possible that someone is putting their thumb on the scale here because they don't want it to do well? And why
Sabotage.
might that be? Is it being sabotaged?
Mhm.
Well, I think to understand, we should take a step back into the creation of this film. For those of you who don't
Yeah.
know who don't know what this film is, The Sound of Freedom stars Jim Caviezel as Tim Ballard, who is a former agent with the Department of Homeland Security, and he worked pedophile crimes. He eventually left to go actually save children overseas who are the victims of human smuggling and human trafficking. This movie was filmed and completed in 2018. It was done by Fox. Fox, of course, everything had to be put on hold because Disney bought Fox. However, that was done in 2019. They've had the movie ever since and did not release the film. It wasn't until Angel Studios came along and finally acquired the rights because the director and the producers were like, we need to get this film out. So Angel Studios gets the rights to distribute this film. It was crowdsourced to get the like 7,000 investors were able to get the $5 million it needed to release this to theaters. And so that brings us to today. I haven't had a chance to see it. I'm taking this week off to do some things. I was going to go see it this week. Everyone that I have talked to or heard from who has seen it says that it's an amazing film. Even Roger Ebert gave it a thumb up, or gave it a thumb up. A lot of people are very positive on this film. However, I'm finding it interesting who's really quiet about it or who's actively condemning it as hold on. And of course, this is when my computer decides not to do what I want it to do. Let me see if I can grab these screenshots real quick. We're seeing this on Twitter right now. Well, you can't really read that. Anyway, but yeah, CNN they're calling it QAnon propaganda is what's happening. CNN and other major news sites are going out of their way to call this QAnon propaganda. And I've got a quote here from The Guardian that I want to read. And I just want you to stop to think about what this movie is. This is a movie about child trafficking. And it's based on a true story. And just think about every time you've seen a movie based on true stories of some horrific event, how everyone describes it as far as in the media. Then now get that in your head and compare it to what I'm about to read to you from The Guardian. Even if he, meaning Jim Caviezel as Tim Ballard, did not literally have the face of Christ, Ballard would still exude an angelic aura as he gently hoists dirty-faced moppets out of peril with the gravely uttered catchphrase, God's children are not for sale. Now, that's a badass quote, by the way, as far as God's children are not for sale, but the venom and vitriol dripping from those words, I've never seen that in any kind of a review for a film. Nathan, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't read that thing from the Guardian, but yeah, somebody doesn't want this movie to get out, and I don't know if it's somebody at AMC or what's going on, but somebody's trying to sabotage it.
So the question becomes: is it just AMC, or is it the larger, Hollywood industrial complex, who probably don't want this movie out? Because I was listening to an interviewer or a reviewer, a woman I like on TikTok named Sab. It's SAV with exclamation point, and she was talking about how the thing that made this movie very different from a lot of other films of this type is where a lot of films tend to get caught up in the broadness of it, right? It makes it such a big issue that it's sort of you detach from it. This takes it, and very much like Uncle Tom's Cabin, takes the subject and focuses it on one person, one child. And that is the power of this film, is there's one person to identify this whole thing with. So now when you hear, human smuggling and sex trafficking of children, you're going to have this one little girl in your head. That, I think, is in one of her major points, is this is probably why they don't want this to be as big as they do, because if it's a larger esoteric concept, it's not real for you. But if you can put one face, one name to this unimaginable suffering, you'll do things.
Yeah, and I tell you what, anytime a theater has screwed up like this, or something goes wrong at a theater, it's always a Christian movie. First, when
Yeah.
I saw Genesis Paradise Lost, I saw it twice in theaters. The first time I saw Genesis Paradise Lost, something went wrong. And then I went and saw it a second time, something went wrong again. And then just this past May, I went and saw Journey to Mount Sinai Part 2, the Patterns of Evidence film. And of course, it didn't work on the Monday that I went. So I had to go back on Wednesday, and thankfully, why is it always when there's a Christian movie playing at these AMC theaters, it always screws up? And it's always been AMC this whole time. It's been screwing it. It's never happened back when it was Cinemark. But yeah, ever since AMC has taken over, the theaters are just constantly screwing up. Whenever it's a Christian film, I've never had this happen with any other movie before.
Yeah, my local theater, like, if there's a problem, they're very upfront about it, but usually it's definitely more than one theater. Like, that's the thing. It's not like each theater has its own unique air conditioning setup, but I will ask, right? And it may just be, every theater may be different, but I'm going to ask when I go. It's like, hey, out of curiosity, do y'all have different air conditioning units per theater? And I don't think that's how most of these work. I mean, that would be hugely expensive. I do know they have multiple units on top, but to your point, why is it never Transformers 12 Rise of the Urge for more money, right? It's never the big blockbusting, ancient alien themed films, or demonically inspired horror films where this is happening. It's always the Christian films, or in this film, technically not a Christian film, yet it kind of is. And yet all over the country, AC's not working, AC's not working, AC's not working. All over the same time period too. It's not like, well, this happened here in this month. It's apparently dozens upon dozens of theaters in dozens and dozens of cities in different states, all AMC or AMC owned.
That's intentional. That doesn't happen on accident. And I tell you what, this is going to backfire on them, because, on July 5th, I went and saw the new Indiana Jones movie, and I was kind of debating, maybe I wanted to see Sound of Freedom, But I was like, Indiana Jones sounds more entertaining, so I went and saw that. And Sound of Freedom, I was kind of up in the air. Like, I might see it in theaters, I might wait for video. Well, after I hear about this, I'm definitely going to see it in theaters, and I'm going to bring friends, and I'm going to pay for their tickets, and then I'm going to see it again
Mhm.
because of, this is just going to backfire on them. The more they try to suppress this, the more
Yes.
people are going to say, "Oh, okay, so this is something I should watch in theaters then." Okay. Now that I know this is the thing that I should be watching because you're trying to stop it.
Yes. 100%. And we're gonna end with that thought. Go see, if you're watching this, share this to your friends and tell them, go see this movie.
Yeah, and
And if
maybe
they say The Sound of Freedom, and if they tell you the AC's broken, go watch it anyway.
yeah, and share it. Share it in the comments in this video. If you go to the theater
Mm-hmm.
and the air conditioning's not working, post that in the
Yeah.
comments so we know other places that it's happening. I mean,
Yes.
this was happening all over. North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, California, New York, Illinois, all over the country.
Yeah.
Texas. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the air conditioning's not working.
Everywhere.
Oh, the air conditioning. No. All these people
Mm-hmm.
posting these comments on that lady's video. And I just got a whole
And
bunch of screenshots this morning. Spent
and
like
I
an
haven't
hour getting
seen
screenshots.
yeah, and I haven't seen anything about any other movie where this is happening. If there was, in fact, if movie theaters were having to refund tickets because because all of the the theaters that were showing Transformers, all of those auditoriums that were showing Transformers, the ACs had broken down, it would be page one news. People would be talking about all this, like, why can't these movie theaters keep their ACs going for Transformers? We got to make certain that people see Transformers, and yet same time frame. It's the Sound
One
of
day
Freedom.
ago. One day
Yeah.
ago, Kevin Sorbo said, "Why isn't the left promoting the Sound of Freedom? Shouldn't everybody be
Mhm.
against child trafficking?"
Yeah. And why is child trafficking why is it suddenly a right-wing issue? Why is it only right-wingers in QAnon? That's the slander. That is the slander. Is that, oh, it's QAnon fringe, it's QAnon themed. Really? That this is a political statement now that children should not be trafficked? That's how you're going to guys, go see this film. Get your friends to go see this film. And if you have any problems, put it in the comments below. Let us know. I'm going to do my own review. This movie has to be seen by everyone.
Bring some ice water with you too, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah. Go get the biggest, coldest drink you can find and go in there. But do be prepared for this to be impactful.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to say bring the kids. Yeah.
Bring a cold drink and one of those personal fans, keep it cool while you're watching it.
Yeah.
Just in case their air conditioning just accidentally goes out.
So, like I said, we'll be talking about this again very soon. Go see the film. If you have any problems, comment below. Share this with your friends. Get everyone you know to go see this. We'll see y'all next time.